and welcome to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. The clouds, the rain, they've all moved out, and we are ready for some baseball. We were originally supposed to play at 5 o'clock, so it's a little bit late, but we're still getting it in. Oklahoma and Samford, two teams that won their openers yesterday, about to do battle here at Dick Howser Stadium. But earlier today, one of the most memorable moments in NCAA tournament history. Down 2-0, down to their last strike. Elijah McNamee does this. A 3-run walk-off home run in an elimination game. Florida State is going home. Mississippi State survives and will play tomorrow. One of the craziest days we have seen in NCAA tournament baseball. This is what the bracket looks like. Oklahoma and Samford. The winner of this one will move on to the regional final tomorrow. The loser gets Mississippi State at noon Eastern. And we are getting ready for Oklahoma and Samford. Dave Neal alongside with College Baseball Hall of Famer Todd Walker, who played at LSU. And Todd, you've been around this game a long time, and we've seen a lot. But let's go back to yesterday with Oklahoma, because they put up a 20 spot against a good Mississippi State team.
How about this Oklahoma offense without Steele Walker, one of the best hitters in the country, and Kyler Murray, the 3- and 4-hole hitters, both out of the lineup. They pinned 22 hits and 20 runs on Mississippi State yesterday, and I know Skip Johnson's hoping for just a piece of that tonight.
We'll see if they can continue that onslaught offensively against this Samford Bulldog team that won the Southern Conference Tournament Championship, and then obviously got some national recognition last night when they took down the #1 seed here in Tallahassee, Florida State, 7-6. Now the question is, can they keep the momentum going?
Well, Samford's identity's on the mound. Samuel Strickland threw great last night, got a great close from Wyatt Burns, and tonight Cody Shelton will be on the mound, and they're hoping for the same type of performance from him.
Hadn't been many 4 seeds to win a regional. Samford trying to get into that mix. The last one was last year. Davidson, can they enter the fray of 4 seeds winning a regional? They will take on the Sooners when we come back. Dick Howser Stadium, Mike Martin Field here in Tallahassee, Florida for this Tallahassee Regional. Oklahoma and Samford getting set to go at it here in a winner's game. Both teams yesterday victorious. And the guy on the mound for the Bulldogs is Cody Shelton, 6'5", big boy out of Brentwood, Tennessee.
Right-handed senior, 4-pitch mix from Cody Shelton. Going to see 88-92 with his fastball. He gives you 2 different breaking ball looks. Going to throw a change up on you. The words from his manager, coach Casey Dunn, calls him composed, and he's got pitchability. Means he's intelligent on the mound. Composed pitchability. Cody Shelton will move it inside and out, knows how to throw, thinks along with the hitters.
Well, we'll take a look at this Oklahoma lineup. A few changes, same names, but guys have kind of flip-flopped spots a little bit. But Cade Harris will start things off for this Sooner team. Zaragoza, Ware, Mitchell, Lindsley behind the plate in this one. Mendenhall at second base. Thomas Hughes again the DH. Brewster in left field. And Cade Cavalli moves down to the 9-hole. And again, your 2 big bats in the middle of that lineup not starting today. And Kyler Murray and Steele Walker. Walker, of course, leads the team in batting average, home runs, and RBIs. First pitch from Cade Harris out to right field. And that'll be out number 1 as Crockett makes the catch. So we've had delays totaling 5 hours and 41 minutes over the last 2 days, but 5 hours today. 2.5 delay in game 3, and then 2.5 hours to wait for the start of this one. But Brandon Zaragoza and the Sooners ready to go. Both teams actually went back to their hotels. They were here at the ballpark, and coaches decided to head back there, let their guys get off their feet, and came back about 45 minutes ago.
You know, Dave, I hit 3-hole for LSU, and I got into the big leagues, and I let off a lot, and I always struggle with the fact that you're going to get a first-pitch fastball to begin the game. What do? Do I take it right down the middle, or do I go after it? Cade Harris right there pops it out to right field. But that was always a struggle for me, because ideally they want you to take a lot of pitches and see, not only for yourself, but for your team who's sitting there on the top of the dugout right there watching this guy throw. They haven't seen Cody Shelton, and so they want to see some pitches. But again, for Cade Harris to lead off this game, gets that fastball, he jumps all over it. And I never knew what was the right decision. I mean, if you get a base hit or a double right there, then it's a good decision.
Right.
You make out, nobody's seen anything. You go back to the dugout and they're saying, all right, what has he got? Kidding with you. You're like, I know, I saw a fastball.
Well, hey, if you get the base hit, let the other guy worry about it, right? Ground ball out to short. Fryman makes the play, 2 down. Well, again, the 2 and 3 are the 3 and 4 hole hitters out for this game, at least to start with. Both guys have been banged up. Steele Walker has the oblique. Kyler Murray has the hamstring. I guess if you had to favor one getting in versus the other one, I think Kyler Murray may be a little bit ahead of Steele Walker if we need a pinch hitter at some point in this game for the Sooners. But 23 home runs and 100 runs batted in. That is a lot of production.
I tell you what, if Oklahoma can pull this off in this regional and win it without their number 3 hole hitter and without their 4, that's going to be one of the more impressive stories in any regional. You lose 2 your middle lineup guys, and they've already off to a phenomenal start with 20 runs yesterday without them. If they can roll through this regional without those 2 guys, that's going to be quite a story.
And that one catches Ware on the shoulder. I think that caught a couple of people behind the plate. Kelly Gonzalez, our home plate umpire, I think got a share of that baseball as well. Listen in.
I think that hit all 3 guys.
That's
also
the second
time in 2 days.
Goodness
They've
gracious.
pinned all 3 guys standing behind that plate.
Now Justin Mitchell with 2 outs. Well, there was a lot of break on that ball from Cody Shelton.
Back to that point about Oklahoma's offense. I mean, they're running 207 out there, 182, 226 in this lineup. But that's the beauty of the postseason. At this point, none of those numbers matter. You're in it, and you'd like to think it's a team sport all year long, but you're in it for yourself most of the year and trying to do your thing. But when it comes postseason, it's all team effort.
Knocked down by the second baseman, Troy Dixon. Can't do anything with it, and 2 on here with 2 out for the Sooners.
And you truly don't care about your average anymore. You're just going after it. Nice job by Justin Mitchell on that fastball. Put it up the middle. With 2 quick outs, Oklahoma again. I mean, this was a familiar sight for us yesterday. Constant traffic on the bases for Oklahoma.
Samford also had a lot of base runners last night against Florida State. They win 7-6, but I think they left like 13 runners on base by the end of the night.
Hey, they ain't scared.
No.
2012, they came in here, and again, even though it was a different deal, 3 brothers are actually on this team in 2018 from the 2012 team. Wyatt Burns, their closer, Luke Corbin, and Sam McWhorter all had brothers on that team, so they watched this 2012 region. Casey Dunn was still the coach, and they made it all the way to the finals before losing to Florida State.
Brady Lindsley, the sophomore catcher, stepping in. Oh, and 2. That one is lifted out of play. Shelton on the mound, 2-3 record on the year. Nice ERA at 3.08, but 10 no decisions in his 15 starts. Samford has gone 8-7 in those 15 starts.
There's no way a hitter should be able to put a good barrel on an 0-2 pitch. The pitching coaches like to see it as a competitive ball. That right there. Perfect pitch. Give the hitter a different look for Shelton. And the pitch before that was that fastball in that would have been a ball too. So you don't want to waste one. You don't want to throw it just completely out of the zone, but throw a competitive ball to give that hitter something more to think about. And you certainly don't want to split the plate.
Swing and a miss. Inning is over. So Oklahoma will leave a couple of runners. And Samford coming up. Brandon Fryman, Dixon, Carlson on the heading to the bottom of the first inning. Bulldogs coming to the plate for the first time today. And a scoreless affair after the Sooners picked up 1 hit in the top half of the first inning. There's a look at the leadoff man, Brandon Fryman, who will set the tone for this lineup featuring Troy Dixon, Brooks Carlson hitting third, Ayrton Schaefer, the left fielder, hitting cleanup today. Connor Burns out in center field. Anthony Mulrine behind the plate. And Austin Edens, who is the career home run leader for the Samford Bulldogs and had some great at-bats last night, will hit seventh. Garreless and Crockett round out the 9. Meanwhile, on the bump, Nathan Wiles. The right-hander comes in with a 6-3 record, a sub-4 ERA, making his 15th start of the year. He is a big boy out of Overland Park, Kansas.
This guy's a beast, 6'4", 240 right-hander, Nathan Wiles. Skip Johnson calls him his young diesel, 88-92 with his fastball. Kind of looks like a big rig out there, curveball and changeup. He'll basically throw the kitchen sink at you. Any pitch and any count, ball's moving around.
Well, Fryman delivers a base hit to center on a 90-mile-an-hour first pitch from Wiles. There it is, leadoff guy. Now the second two-hole guy's got to get up there and take some pitches, right?
Well, if you keep getting hits, it doesn't matter. You just keep banging them out. The only problem arises when you make out. But, again, that's the struggle for a leadoff guy. Do I go? It's a guaranteed fastball first pitch, and guaranteed he's trying to throw a strike, and most of the time it splits the plate. Do I go after it, or I just take it down the middle and fight my way through the rest of it? And I went back and forth on that the entire time I was a leadoff hitter.
So if you're coaching, what would you tell your leadoff hitter to do? Runner goes. Fryman trying to swipe second. I think he slid right into the tag. Brady Lindsley throwing him out at second base.
I like the aggressiveness Casey Dunn's trying to do early with his Samford Bulldogs. Troy Dixon swings right through the pitch, and that ball is just perfectly thrown from Lindsley at second base. Nails Fryman. Nice tag by Zaragoza as well. That ball was right on the dirt, right in front of the bag.
10th runner Lindsley's thrown out this year. 35 attempts. And now Troy Dixon behind 0-2. As Wiles needs to fix that cleat. Should double knot that thing. Always said that.
Everybody knows to double knot, don't they?
Got a double knot. Troy Dixon had some nice plays last night for Samford. Defensively came up big, made a couple of nice running catches down the line and right from the second base spot. Showed great range.
Another quality 0-2 pitch, this time from Wiles in Oklahoma. Again, you don't want to put it anywhere where you can put a barrel on it, but you want it to be competitive. Make Troy Dixon think about it a little bit. And you, as a pitching coach, you're watching those takes. Troy Dixon didn't even bite on that pitch that was in the dirt, which means he's sitting back and waiting on off speed. That's how he's able to see that a little better. So fastball in works right here.
And that one is shot out of play. Boy, Casey Dunn, what a job he has done in his tenure at Samford. Second time they have gone to the NCAA tournament. The last time was here in 2012 in Tallahassee. Won their first game in that regional as well. They beat Mississippi State, who is here in Tallahassee.
Every bit of Casey Dunn's postseason experience has been here in Tallahassee. In fact, when he knew he was in the postseason, he's been here so many times. The bus was halfway here when they announced they were coming to this regional.
As a player at Auburn, came here 3 times. And that one misses upstairs. So Dixon taking some pitches and draws the walk with 1 out.
But your point's well taken. Again, the leadoff hitter hits on the first pitch. It's now the second hole's job to take some, see some, so the rest of his team can see what Nathan Wiles is throwing. They have a general idea. Nathan's not going to get a whole lot of swing and misses. His game is getting outs, hitting the end of the barrel and up in the hands and just moving the ball around.
Samford Bulldogs had that 13-game win streak in the middle of the year and then promptly followed it up with 7 straight losses, but then got the train back on the tracks to win the Southern Conference Tournament Championship and wind up here in the NCAA tournament. Brooks Carlson, the freshman DH, 351 on the year, 9 homers, 46 runs batted in, 16 doubles. I would say the future's bright for this youngster.
You know, and this is tough for Casey Dunn because you want to be aggressive, but you already got one guy blown up at second base. That's Brandon Fryman, and that dude had 25 bags on the year. Troy Dixon with 12 stolen bases is on first base. You just don't want to take the risk of getting thrown out twice at second base in the same inning. It takes away your aggressiveness a little bit.
Talked about that 13-game win streak by the Bulldogs. That was their longest in 60 years since opening the 1958 season with a 17-game win streak. And it ended up being the second longest in school history as Carlson swings past that 91-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 1-2. That one misses downstairs. 2-2.
He can get by this pitch and get to 3-2. It'll create some opportunities for Samford. At that point, you'll see Troy Dixon go in motion.
This is a good crowd game. Not a lot of people here. If you want to be vocal, you will be heard.
You want to be heard. Yeah. Most of the time, that's not a good thing.
Plenty of good seats available. After a game that was supposed to start at 5 o'clock, gets underway at 9:34. Foul straight back. I think I saw where there's been weather delays at 8 of the 16 regionals.
This time of year, especially in the southeast, you got all those pop-up showers every day. I played Fort Myers, Florida, and we would get rain at 4 o'clock every single day. And then we'd play at 7 o'clock.
There's a good seat right there, right behind the plate. Good look. Now, if he wants to be a part of the game, put your feet up.
Finally got on camera, and he's looking down. There you go.
Casey Dunn's team in 2012 came here with some outstanding bats. This team maybe doesn't swing it as well as the 2012, but they hang their hat on pitching. Did he go? Yes, he did. Out number 2 on the strikeouts.
That 2-2 pitch is such a pivotal pitch in an at-bat. You get by, you get to 3-2, you get a predictable fastball. Good off speed from Nathan Wiles, and Brooks Carlson just not able to hold on. As a hitter, you want to be real patient in that. Even if you hit the fastball the other way, I always try to let it travel as much as possible at 2-2 because I knew how important it was to get to 3-2.
Schaefer steps in. His first pitch swings and misses. By the way, that last strikeout for Oklahoma is their 584th by this pitching staff this year, which is the single season school record. Schaefer last night 0 for 3, was replaced by Sam Teague out in left field. Pin hits on the night for the Bulldogs. Scored 7 runs. Just enough as they beat the Seminoles 7-6. 1-2 the count. Samford's knocked off a couple of top 25 teams this year. Maybe 21st ranked Auburn. Also knocked off, at the time, 22nd ranked UCF.
If you had a leadoff type hitter at the plate, it'd be worth the risk to go ahead and steal second base, especially because he's behind in the count. If you get going out at second base, your guy at the plate gets to lead off the next inning, it's worth the risk. But Schaefer with 5 home runs, 50 strikeouts on the year. 51.
Inning is over, and the Bulldogs will leave a runner. Mendenhall and Hughes, along with Brewster, coming up. Oh, there's a future Sooner hurler. He's ready to go. Yes, sir. I love it. Some regional headlines. Of course, the biggest story of the day coming right here in Tallahassee as Mississippi State walks off Florida State on an Elijah McNamee home run, his second of this tournament, but this one certainly very important on a 2-0 deficit, hit the 3-run home run. And Kyle Mendenhall will step in and start things off down for the Oklahoma Sooners. One of only 2 seniors on this roster. The other, Devin Perez. Mendenhall hitting .315 on the year, raised his average 7 points yesterday. Went 3 for 5 with 3 runs batted in. That one stays inside. Mitchell and Mendenhall, the 3 and 4 hitters, replacing the 2 best bats in this lineup. Ended up going 6 for 10 yesterday with a couple of walks. And just an outstanding day at the plate all the way around. When you need some offensive production, Skip Johnson said this team picks each other up. That's one of the great attributes of this team.
Thomas Hughes behind those guys also had 3 hits. I mean, they strung 3 hits in a row between their 4, 5, and 6 guys. And again, banged out 22 as a team. I mean, this is a team that hits .277. They just had a phenomenal day yesterday at the right time.
Now it's Thomas Hughes to the plate. Hughes, a designated hitter, hitting 7th, .324. He had a nice opening game as well. A couple of runs batted in, scored a run. There is the skipper of the Sooners, his first year, and Skip Johnson. Also serves as their pitching coach, was the pitching coach last year under Pete Hughes. Father of the young man at the plate right now, Thomas Hughes. One and one on Hughes. That one just misses off the plate. Shelton has 69 strikeouts, 29 walks. That one misses inside. It's now full at 3-2.
Mendenhall at first base, 4 stolen bases in 5 attempts on a 3-2 count. I'm Skip Johnson. I'm putting him in motion. Stay out of the double play. Thomas Hughes can handle the bat.
This Oklahoma team came into this 275 as a team, up to 277 now. They don't hit a whole bunch of home runs, just 44 on the year for the Sooners, but they do that. Base knocked left side. Fryman was shading toward the bag, and there was a big hole off the left side.
So on the first 3-2 pitch, Cal Mendenhall took off, and it was fouled off. This time, he does a fake, and it still got Brandon Fryman to move towards second base and opened up a hole in the 6th hole for Thomas Hughes for the base hit.
So Blake Brewster now will step in, the left fielder. Brewster last night, another 3-hit guy. 5 Sooners had 3 or more hits yesterday.
This is a guaranteed bunt situation for Oklahoma. If you're Blake Brewster, you have to put this ball toward third base. Garris has to stay put in case he pulls it back. Can't leave third base unoccupied for Cal Mendenhall to steal third.
How do you feel about early in the game, you have a chance for a big inning, giving up an out to get guys to second and third?
I'm not a bunt guy. I don't like to bunt, especially first and second. But first and second to get him over to third with less than 2 outs and to give yourself a lead, because, again, getting that guy in from third for less than 2 outs as a hitter ought to be one of the more least difficult things you have to do. And for me, I'm okay with it, especially at the college level. These kids are emotional, and a lead early in this game gives them a ton of confidence. This bunt has to go toward third base. You bunt it toward first and you're out because he's right on top of you. Again, Garris has to stay back and read the bunt. And if it's hard enough, he'll come in and get it. If not, it's up to Cody Shelton to make the play.
Quick timeout as Sooners want to figure out what we're doing at the plate here on a 1-2 pitch.
Now, one of the factors in this bunting is if he is successful and he moves the guys to second and third, you've given Samford an out and you've got Cade Cavalli on deck. Now, this guy can swing and miss with the best of them. 90 strikeouts on the year, and that factors into the decision because the last thing you need with a guy on third and less than 2 outs is a strikeout. Now we're 1-2. Bunt kind of goes out the window, and we're swinging away. This will be a slash. It shows bunt with 2 strikes and pulls back. He's going to swing it, and that's what Skip Johnson came out and told everybody, so they're on the same page. But you can only try it once. Now they're on to it, so it won't collapse the defense because they know he's just going to pull it back and swing.
Or will he?
Well, if he squares around, you know he's not going to really purposely bump the ball. Foul ball, and he's out.
Instead, hits it high in the air to center field. Connor Burns will make the catch. Connor throws. Here's the throw to third. A little bit offline, and runners will be at the corners.
So ideally, Oklahoma would have liked second and third, but Blake Brewster does enough of a job to get Kyle Mendenhall over to third base for Cade Cavalli, the 9-hole hitter. Double play still in order. That'll get Samford out of the inning. But again, he's got a big strikeout guy. He can pop a homer also. The hitter's job right here is just to put it in place somewhere. You hope you don't hit it up the middle in a double play, but in the outfield to get the first run across.
Cade Cavalli, 207. Had a base hit yesterday afternoon. A freshman playing first base. Swing and a miss. So Cavalli, 91 strikeouts. Unfortunately for him, he's closing in on a couple of records. The Big 12 record for strikeouts of the season's 95, and the NCAA record is 99. But again, watching this guy in the cages before a game, there's just, I mean, it's impressive the show he puts on from foul pole to foul pole.
His main thing is having an educated guess at the plate and pitch recognition. Right there, that fastball was in the outside corner. He took a swing like it was on the inside corner. But he's only a freshman, and he's got ridiculous tools. I mean, he can get on the mound, give you 95 miles an hour. He can hit a ball 400 feet, no problem. As soon as Clay Overcash has had some time to work with him, he's going to be quite a player at Oklahoma.
Off that pitch off the plate. Now 2-1. And they're loaded. So Cavalli draws the walk. Casey Dunn out to the mound. "22 pitches this inning. Only 9 have been strikes. Bulldogs have been very solid on the mound this year. Bulldog staff is nationally ranked in the top 30 in 6 major categories. Shutouts with 7. They're 10th in whip, walks and hits per inning. They're 12th in fewest hits allowed per 9 innings, 17th in strikeout to walk ratio. And they're 27th in earned run average.
Well, certainly Cade Cavalli was the guy they needed to throw over the plate. He's a swing and miss guy. You take your chances rather than walking. to flip this lineup around for Oklahoma.
And Cade Harris, #1 in the NCAA in walks, 64 on the year. To the plate and nowhere to put him. Looks at ball one. Cade first pitch swinging to start this game with the fly ball for the first out. Boy, now it's 2-0. Boy, that is a mile in the air. Shallow right. Crockett runs in. Dixon gives way. Here's the throw home, and everybody stays at their respective bases.
Cade Harris knows he missed a big opportunity right there. You get a 2-0 count with the bases loaded, and you know a fastball's coming. He put it right in there. Cade Harris just gets under it too much. Can't get the job done, but as a hitter, you've got to love those opportunities. Watch this fastball on a 2-0 count, just middle in and right in his wheelhouse. And the place to hit the ball in this ballpark is to right field, and that was set up perfectly. Just missed it.
0-1 on Zaragoza. The two-hole hitter grounded out his first time up. Average at 281. No homers and 28 runs batted in. No swing. Is Darren Hyman down the first baseline. That ball's hit well to left, but not well enough. Schaefer broke back. He'll make the catch. And how about Cody Shelton getting out of that jam? He would have to use 28 pitches, but the Sooners kept at bay. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Scoreless in Tallahassee. How about the excitement here at the ballpark? See what happens when you have long rain delays? You got to keep yourself energized.
Look at KP go.
KP working with us here in the booth, having a good time. Hey, Courtney, how you doing?
Love the hat.
Oh, my goodness. Caleb working hard out there. All these, I can't even stress enough how long these days. Tigger and I go back 30 years. He's changed, I haven't. There's Wes in Houston. Boys stay dry out there in the center field cameras. Great view. And Andrew. Now there you go. That's anybody's got it on the shoulder. They're really working.
I love it.
That's just part of our crew, bringing you the sights and sounds from this Tallahassee Regional. And it has been so far 2 very long days, but having a good time, especially when you have exciting games like we've had earlier today with Mississippi State and Florida State. And last night, let's face it was almost a full house here, 6,000 on hand in a 7-6 ball game. Samford beating Florida State. Connor Burns will step in. The junior swing and a miss, 1-2. Burns had a huge play last night against Florida State with runners at first and second, nobody out. Late in that game, he kind of bluffed Drew Mendoza at second base on a ball hit to him. The one hopped in front of him. Mendoza was late breaking, and Burns threw it to third for the force out.
And that was the first out of that inning. They still scored in that inning. Would have been more. And Samford ends up winning that game last night by 1 run.
So second strikeout for Wiles, and that'll take us to Mulrine. Excuse me, third strikeout. Third strikeout in a row. So Mulrine, the sophomore backstop.
Nathan Wiles and on the other side, Cody Shelton are very similar. Nathan Wiles, 77 innings, only 59 strikeouts. Again, you're labeled a strikeout pitcher if your strikeouts are even or greater than your innings pitched. For Nathan Wiles, already in this game, a lot of swing and misses.
Mulrine tried to hold off on that swing. It's 2-2. Mulrine not afraid to throw it around. The catcher for the Bulldogs. He was slinging it all over the infield last night. That one catches the inside half of the plate. That's 4 straight strikeouts.
Wow, Nathan Wiles with that inside sinker. Freezes up Anthony Mulrine after the slider away on a check swing. A lot of times as a hitter, when you get a check swing, you become more cautious and really want to sit back and wait and really try to see it because you know you made a mistake the pitch before, and that fastball in will always burn that guy because he's being too cautious and staying back. Not ready for that fastball inside.
Here's Austin Edens, the first baseman.
This is their guy hitting out of the 7-hole. School records of home runs, RBIs, total bases. Austin Edens.
3 for 3 last night with an RBI. Second among active players in the NCAA with those 52 career home runs. And really only has 8 this year. He's battled through some injuries. Ground ball right back to Wiles. Another clean inning. 4 strikeouts on the evening and gets the comebacker. We have played 2 and we are scoreless here in Tallahassee, Florida.
Cat-like reflexes on the mound for Nathan Wiles.
NCAA baseball regional coverage on ESPN is presented by Capital One. You're looking at Dick Howser Stadium, home to the Seminoles, who will not be playing here the rest of the season. They are 2-Q, as they say, losing the first 2 games in dramatic fashion earlier today. Mississippi State with a 3-run walk-off homer. And here we are with Samford and Oklahoma. Scoreless as we move to the top of the 3rd. Riley Ware steps in. 28-pitch inning for Cody Shelton in the 2nd, but got out of there with no damage done. Well, that ball is hammered to left. So Ware continues his hot hitting here in Tallahassee. Speaking of balls that were hammered, this is the ball that was delivered over the wall. Elijah McNamee's walk-off home run ball. He is sporting it and smiling. Why not? What a moment. The excitement from not just the players, but watching Gary Henderson, who is one of the most laid-back, subdued guys. He's a California guy and all that entails, you know, just kind of laid back, goes with. He was jumping up and down. I love it. Gary,
it was quite a sight.
If you're watching Gary, I loved every minute of it.
Well, and that, when it happened, you know, you see the home run, my eyes immediately went to their dugout. I like to see those moments, you know, and see those guys and how that raw emotion comes out in those moments. Like you said, Gary Henderson, normally a straight, even keel type of guy, was probably jumped as high as he's jumped in a long time.
There's the bunt out in front of the plate. He'll go to first with it, get the out there. That'll be the first out of the inning.
Watch this pitch sequence. To is Elijah McNamee. Starts him off with a changeup on the outside corner, gets him to fish. Then a slider that McNamee's way out in front of. Shows him a high fastball. The next pitch in the sequence is going to be a changeup. Elijah McNamee knew it and sat all over that pitch. And that's a season ender for the Florida State Seminoles. 3-run homer, down 2-0, and Mississippi State moves to tomorrow. What a moment.
1 out. For the Sooners here in the top half of the third, it's Brady Lindsley. Looks at strike one. Lindsley struck out his first time up.
You know, in this day and age, Dave, when we talk about, spin rates and launch angles, a lot of times hitters are trying to create a launch angle in order to get that ball out of the ballpark. But sometimes the pitch creates the launch angle. And right there, that changeup for Elijah McNamee to go down and get it, you're going to finish high, and it just created that home run, that changeup out over the plate.
Lindsley fighting that off. 1-2 the count. He had a tough Big 12 tournament. He went 0 for 7 with a couple of strikeouts, but did get a base hit last night. Sophomore out of Keller, Texas. That ball is laced into right. They will hold up Riley Ware at third, so runners at the corners again for the Sooners with 1 out.
Cody Shelton tries to double up inside with a fastball, and on that second time, Brady Lindsley was all over it. And that's a nice swing. Because when you start talking about pitch sequences, the fastball in usually is followed by some sort of off speed, and it's hard to get the barrel out. Almost looked like Brady Lindsley was sitting all over that fastball in. Showed it to him twice in a row, and he didn't let the second one by him.
So some first and third defense for Anthony Mulrine, marking out the signals for his Bulldogs. And Kyle Mendenhall.
Brady Lindsley running around first base, thought he got the job done with the RBI, and he didn't make it home. He hit it too hard.
Yeah, exactly. Take something off that, and you'll get an RBI. Crockett's got a good arm. We've seen him throw already, keeping a runner at bay from right field. Go back to first.
And that's a decision for Clay Van Hook at third base, that with 2 outs, he's sending him. There's no question about it. But with 1 out, you're going to be a little more cautious because, again, you got 2 outs to play with. For Kyle Mendenhall at the plate, all he has to do is put the ball in the outfield to get that run home.
Clay Van Hook was at Rice last year. Rice made it to NCAA tournament. Played in the LSU or the Baton Rouge Regional. Oh, 0-1 on Mendenhall. Oklahoma had the bases loaded last inning. Couldn't get any runs across. 53 pitches so far for Cody Shelton. It has been a stressful evening for the big right-hander. Oklahoma's already left 5 on base tonight. Boy, that one's way off the mark. What a backhand pick from Mulrine.
Saved a run. That's twice tonight. Mulrine behind the plate. Helped his pitcher out. This ball didn't even go 45 feet. Nice backhand.
Oh,
ideally, as a catcher, you get on both knees and try to get your chest protector in front of it, but my goodness, he didn't have time to do that. Hand-eye coordination right there.
He's ready to throw all the time. He's like begging somebody to run on him. That ball is blasted deep to left. It's out of here. 3-run shot for Kyle Mendenhall, his 4th of the year.
Skip Johnson's Oklahoma offense continues to impress. A 3-run homer for Kyle Mendenhall, and they haven't missed too many fastballs from Cody Shelton in this inning. Fastball out over the plate, and that ball is blasted to left field. A no-doubter. Look at the dugout.
And that is his dad up there celebrating, and hey, why not? There's the bunt. That's going to be a tough play for the third baseman, Garris. He can't make it. Throw gets away, and that's going to allow Thomas Hughes to get all the way down to second. Casey Dunn immediately out of the dugout calling time as things getting a little crossed up for the Bulldogs right now.
Thomas Hughes, from a baseball family, like you mentioned, knows how to play this game. Samford's a little rattled. He gets the first pitch, and he sees the third baseman back, just puts it down the line. For Garris, watch this ball. It's going foul. You can't make the play at first base. You let it go. He tries to make something out of nothing and throws it away. Nice attempt by Edens at first base to try to block it, but can't get it. That's the play at third base, where when you know you're not going to get him at first, you go ahead and let it roll, especially if you see it spinning toward the foul line. Let it go ahead and roll foul.
Mendenhall's home run was his first since March 10th versus Texas A&M Corpus Christi.
You know, and we're going to run this in the ground, Dave, but it's still, every time I think about when Oklahoma does something positive offensively, the fact that Steele Walker, one of the best hitters in the country, isn't even in their lineup. I mean, what would they be doing with Kyler Murray and Steele Walker to go along with these 23 runs they posted in the last 12 innings of this regional?
You speak to this better than I can, certainly, but you just wonder if guys don't lock in a little bit more, knowing that they have to do a little bit more without their 3 and 4 hole hitters. You wonder what kind of impact that has on a lineup, and there they are right there, Walker and Kyler Murray in the dugout.
And we talked to Steele Walker before this thing even started, and he talked a little bit about that. He's watched his guys around him rally with him out of the lineup. They've got the talent. The numbers aren't there for 3 or 4 guys, but again, when you get into the postseason, you're no longer concerned with any of the numbers. We'll bunt when we have to bunt. We'll move guys over when we have to. And you'd like to think that goes on all year long, but it's especially important in the postseason.
2-0 on Brewster. Six hits already for the Sooners. Some activity down there for the Bulldogs, and Jack Rude, 6'4", 190. Trying to get his arm ready to go. And there's the free pass. You wonder how many more pitches Cody Shelton will throw in this game.
Little un-Cody Shelton-like. Hit Briley Ware in the first, 2 walks in the second. And in this inning, another walk for Cody Shelton, who's usually pretty accurate around the plate.
Cade Cavalli, he walked his first time up, and he'll look at a first pitch strike. Runners at first and second. Hughes with the bunt single a moment ago, reached second on a throwing error, and now Brewster just walks. It almost looks like Cavalli falls back on a breaking ball.
He's a little unsure of himself. You'd almost like to see him swing too hard than be unsure like a pitch like that. And that's a good pitch. It's a slider on the outside corner. Once this kid starts recognizing pitches, like I said, and kind of gets an idea of what pitch is coming based on what the pitcher has in certain counts, he's going to be dangerous.
Runner goes. Throw down to second. They will easily get Brewster. Heads up play from Mulrine. Knew he didn't have a chance to get Hughes, but nails Brewster at second.
Yeah, you said it. Mulrine is always ready to throw it. Not only that, he's aware of the field. Watch this jump at second base to third. Clearly he was going to make it, but nice job by Mulrine to pick up the runner at second base for the second out.
That just misses off the plate. I look down at Casey Dunn. He thought that was strike three. Instead, it's ball two. Casey Dunn, the head coach at Samford, also calls the pitches.
You know, the one thing that's tough if you're the trail runner like Brewster in that situation, you've got to make sure the guy in front of you goes so you get a less of a jump than the guy in front of you. I remember Otis Nixon was in front of me trying to steal third in Detroit, and I was at first. He takes off for third, and I took off, and I got blown up at second by about 20 feet, so he didn't get the stolen base. But it's hard as a trail runner because you're having to make sure the guy in front of you goes.
One hopper out to Dixon at second. But a three-run shot off the bat of Kyle Mendenhall. Hadn't had one of these in a couple of months. He'll touch them all. 3-0 Sooners. There's Kyler Murray. Not in the lineup for the second consecutive game here at the NCAA Regional in Tallahassee. Battling a bad hamstring, but a lot of folks wondering what will happen to him in the coming months. Next week, the Major League Draft. A lot of people think he could be a late first rounder, early second rounder. And if that's the case, boy, it really opens your eyes to what does he want to do. Of course, expected to be the starting quarterback for the Sooners this year. Those are real world problems to think about. Do I go sign after getting drafted in the first round, or do I go play quarterback for Oklahoma?
He can do both.
Yeah.
He can do both. That pro team will work with him.
Yeah.
They want him bad enough. Back to play college football. It's hard to split your time between those two when you start getting those high levels, though. That's the one thing. And you'll take the money when that pro team drafts you, but tell you what, I've seen a lot of stories go the opposite direction with kids that talented.
Taylor Garris hits it on the button, but out to center field, and that's where Cade Harris is. One down. Sooners roll into this event, finishing fourth in the Big 12. 14-10 in conference play under their first-year skipper, Skip Johnson, but 37-23 overall. Got off to a hot start in the Big 12, but finished fourth. Steele Walker had one of those memorable seasons. Unfortunately, late in the year, strained oblique, but Walker was phenomenal. Hitting .352, 13 homers, 53 runs batted in, scored 48 runs. Team best in that batting average, home run, RBI department. Back-to-back all Big 12 honors. There's a ground ball. Mendenhall. Nice play out there at second base. Kyle Mendenhall has the home run and now shows you a little leather.
That was similar to the play we saw from Hunter Stovall from Mississippi State, the backhand slide and then the perfect throw to first base. That is not easy. The easier play for a second baseman is to his glove side to the left, but up the middle, you got to have a strong arm. And you already know where first base is. You really don't have to pick it up to make that accurate a throw that quickly.
Brandon Fryman swings and misses. Fryman singled, but was caught stealing shortly thereafter. Of course, the son of Travis Fryman, who played 13 years in the big leagues for the Tigers and the Indians, currently hitting instructor for the Indians in their farm system. One and two the count.
Boy, Nathan Wiles' off speed has been on point tonight. Tight little slider there at 87 miles an hour.
Samford's football team, by the way, will head this way in the fall. Second game of the season. They'll play Florida State right here at Doak Campbell Stadium right behind us. Called strike three. Wiles has retired 8 in a row, and in that stretch, he has struck out 5 Bulldogs. 3-0 Oklahoma. When we come back, we'll visit with the Bulldogs head coach, Casey Dunn. Good look at Casey Dunn, head coach of the Samford Bulldogs, as they trail 3-0. Casey, last night, big win, huge crowd. Guys got some momentum, and it takes a while to get back on the field today. How do you manage your team in that situation?
Well, I tell you, obviously, I didn't do a very good job of it because we're stumbling here to start. You know, I think our guys are a little shell-shocked for some reason.
Yeah.
You know, you'd think last night would have been, you know, the time to kind of be starstruck, so to speak, but hopefully, you know, the good thing is we got 6 innings left to go, plenty of time to settle down and get back in this thing.
Casey, Nathan Wiles has really looked good, especially with that slider. What does your offense need to do to get to him?
Man, I tell you, you know, the speed gap's not very much, but it's a true cutter, you know, and you just don't see that much at this level. You know, usually there's some kind of hump or shape you can recognize easier out of the hand, but, you know, to me, from the side at least, it's coming out pretty flat, and obviously we haven't picked it up. So hopefully we can get on some balls, get in the back side of the field, and stay on it a little bit better.
All right, buddy, we'll let you get back to work. Thanks for visiting with us.
Thank you, guys.
Jack Rude will start things off on the mound here in the 4th inning for the Bulldogs, as Casey Dunn gets ready to call some pitches for his right-hander as he'll face Cade Harris. You see the numbers on Rude, 3.62 ERA, his 25th appearance of the year. He starts things off with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. That's in there for a strike.
Jack Rude with a high walk total, 32 innings, 17 walks. ERA's good, 3.5 runs per 9 innings. 25th appearance for Jack Rude.
Well, stays inside, 1-1.
Hey boy, Jack, stay right there, hey boy.
Rude pitched against Mercer in that Southern Conference Championship game. 3 innings, allowed 6 hits. Struck out 3, didn't walk anybody. And got the win. He's gone 3 innings a few times this year, but that has been the longest stint for him out of the bullpen.
You know, you asked Casey the question, and there was a huge crowd here last night. Samford's on the road playing the home team, Florida State, and a lot of times that'll elevate your game to a level, and I don't think tonight would be a letdown per se, but last night certainly energized the Samford team. They played really well. Now with less of a crowd, even though it's a regional, you just don't have that same intensity, especially early, to feed off of.
Cade Harris, couple of fly ball outs at the top of the Sooner lineup. His average of 278. Ground ball, where they played him perfectly. Fryman a few steps to his left, makes the play. 1 down. That'll get us to Brandon Zaragoza, the shortstop, who was 0 for 2. You know, both teams, by the way, if you're just kind of getting with us here, this game was supposed to start at 5, but we had a rain delay of a couple hours, 2.5 hours in our first game, pushed everything back. So we were going to start at 7. Teams were here ready to go, and then all of a sudden a storm came through, and both teams, we thought it was going to be a long storm, a couple hours, maybe longer, but it only lasted about 45 minutes. Both teams went back to their respective hotels, not for very long before they were summoned back to the ballpark. And we start a little bit late, but still, you get loose, shut it down, go to the hotel, come back. Some teams, you know, a little bit better at handling those situations than others. Ground ball out to third. Garris, safe at first. Scored an error on Garris over at third.
Taylor Garris kind of bobbles this ball, drops it. Look at the strong throw over to first base, and that was really close.
Again, no replay in the NCAA regionals.
I think Darren Hyman, the first base umpire, made the right call. It almost looks like a tie, and we all know the tie in baseball goes to the runner. But seeing that live, that's a tough call. Nice job.
Why does it go to the runner? Just because he's
because I'm a hitter, and that's the way it works.
I always wondered why we determined the runner gets the tie benefit. Now I know, because Todd Helton is a hitter. It says it in the rule book, doesn't it?
I'll make it one.
Todd Walker, excuse me.
Well, I wish I could hit like help.
He was something else.
Oh, yeah.
He's on the Tennessee staff now.
Yeah, Director of Player Development.
I think in the softball rule book it says Ty goes the runner because of me, because of Dave Neal says so.
Oh, you've heard that. That's just what I've heard. I haven't read it in the rule book. I just went along with it.
0-2 to Ware. That one is out to third. Another chance for Garris. Dixon makes the turn, a one hop over to first base, and Eaton stays with it, and a good inning for Jack Rude. Well, this was the scene earlier today. Teams were out here ready to go, and nope, they weren't. A little hacky sack before Samford decided to get on the bus, too, because look at the bolts of lightning that were overhead here in Tallahassee, Florida. Pulled the tarp just in time because we had what we thought was going to be a lengthy shower, but it did pour for a while. And eventually it quit rather quickly, and we were able to get some baseball. I was afraid we wouldn't even get this game in tonight when everybody left the ballpark. But here we are. Oklahoma leads 3-0 as we move to the bottom of the fourth inning. Dave Neal alongside Todd Walker. Glad you could join us. Troy Dixon, first pitch swinging. Fouls it off. Boy, what a start to this game for Nathan Wiles. Gave up a leadoff single to Fryman, but was caught stealing shortly thereafter. Then walked Dixon, and since then he has retired 8 in a row with 5 strikeouts in the mix.
He's been awesome. Cutters working inside the lefties, away from righties, mixing in a slider, four-seamer at 92 miles an hour.
That one's up and away.
Hey, Troy, win the 18 here. Hey, win this pitch. Troy, win this pitch.
2-2 on the way to Dixon. That is 6 strikeouts. Hey, the ESPN networks bring you every game on the road to Omaha, starting with regional coverage on ESPN2, ESPNU, the Longhorn Network, SEC Network, and ESPN3. Whip-around coverage also available through ESPN3 and the Bases Loaded channel. All the coverage is also available on the great ESPN app. First pitch by Carlson, out of play. Boy, if you had the app today, you could have watched Texas A&M. How about Cody Clements? He is having some kind of year, the son of Roger Clements. Couple of home runs today. That one's fouled back out of play. Texas beat Texas A&M 8-3 in that Austin Regional. Texas goes 2-out in the Big 12 tournament. But came into postseason play, red-hot baseball team, and look like they are picking up the pace again here in the NCAA tournament.
Well, they just spun Texas, a good Texas A&M team tonight. I mean, wow. Put it on them, and Texas A&M had a great run in the SEC tournament last week. A lot of times when you see teams get hot like LSU, Ole Miss, Texas A&M out of the SEC, you think they carry it over, but Texas put it on them.
Cavalli makes the play and tosses to Wiles, and that'll be out number 2.
You know, when young pitchers are developing, the greatest pitch you can master is that fastball in that you saw from Nathan Wiles to strike out Troy Dixon to start this inning. You can master that inside fastball. It sets you up for any other pitch you want to throw. And when guys are saying, you know, at 12 years old that they're trying to get their third and fourth and fifth pitches, no, you got to master the fastball, and especially the fastball in. After that, develop that second swing and miss pitch. In Casey Mize's case, it's a split change. Kelly Hilliard from LSU has the big 12-6 curveball, whatever it may be, but you have to master that fastball first. Nathan Wiles has done an excellent job tonight of getting in on these hitters. Because as a hitter, you feel like you got to get the head out on that pitch, and it just opens up everything else for Nathan Wiles.
Schaefer. Boy, they were playing him way out near the warning track. That was Cade Harris was out there in center field, and he was just a few steps away from the warning track. Look where he is.
That's respect right there for Harris in center field. It's a long way out there.
400 feet out to center.
And even now, Cade Harris is deep, real deep in center field.
Connor Burns swings and misses. Well, that snapped a stretch of 10 straight retired by Nathan Wiles. Wiles has definitely found a rhythm here. 7 straight first pitch strikes. Now it's 0-2 on Burns.
And not all on the same pitch. Again, he's got the threat of the fastball in like we talked about, but he's throwing off speed for strike 1 as well. And so that puts different thoughts in your mind as a hitter. If he throws a curveball, an off-speed pitch for strike 1, now you tell yourself you have to sit back. And that opens up that fastball.
So 1-2 on Burns.
Tries that inside corner again. He knows he's got these Samford hitters staying back on his off speed, and he's trying to throw it inside to freeze them all up. Got Brandon Fryman looking to end the third. Got Troy Dixon looking to start this inning.
Boy, now it's full at 3-2 to Burns. With 2 outs, runner at first.
Raleigh will play behind him at first base. Eric Schaefer will be in motion on this pitch.
Swing and a miss. 7 strikeouts, ties his career high, which he had against Texas back in mid-April. 3-0 Sooners out in front.
Nathan Wiles just nasty with that threat of that fastball in, and just a swing and miss once again for the Samford hitters.
Well, you look at Skip Johnson, head coach at Oklahoma Sooners, joining us down there in the dugout. And Coach, yesterday was one of those dynamic days. It seemed to all be working for you. You don't have your 3 and 4 guys in the lineup. I guess a little concern coming in, but you got to feel a little bit better about your team, I would suppose, at this juncture after yesterday.
Yeah, we talk about picking each other up, and not having those guys hurts us a little bit. But those other guys come out and practice just as hard, and we talked about 9 guys named Joe, and they picked them up,
Skip.
Yep.
Nathan Wiles, 59 strikeouts on the year, 7 already tonight. What have you seen from him that's been special?
Really, the fastball command, that's been really the biggest issue, and I think he has really good fastball command right now, and he always has a good presence, and that's what's good about him.
All right, Skip, thanks for joining us. We'll let you get back to work.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Skip Johnson, his first year running the show at Oklahoma, of course, on the staff last year as the pitching coach, and boy, there's a lot to like about Nathan Wiles right now. Coach telling us before we came on the air. Maybe one of the best outings of the year. He took a loss, Oklahoma lost to Dallas Baptist earlier this year, but Nathan had a really good outing in that contest. But perhaps this might be his best first 4 innings.
You mentioned it, Skip Johnson, the pitching coach last year, 10 years under Augie Garrido over at Texas. Skip Johnson's worked a lot with Nathan Wiles and the rest of this pitching staff. And, boy, he's been impressive tonight.
Justin Mitchell hitting in that cleanup spot. Singled and has sacrificed. .235 average. No home runs on the year for Justin. So Justin having to pick up the spot in the lineup for Steele Mitchell. And this is what you're talking about. You're asking a guy that's hitting .226 coming into this game to pick up the spot left by a guy hitting .352 with 13 bombs and 53 runs batted in.
And all he's done is 4 hits in the last 2 days, 3 for 5 last night, a hit tonight. Sack bunt, the third. Move the guys over. Justin Mitchell done a phenomenal job for this Oklahoma offense in this regional so far.
.91-mile-an-hour fastball, just off the mark, 2-2. I love it when there's a small crowd. You can hear all the comments from everybody. Just heard, gosh almighty, that was a good pitch.
I guess that's better than the alternative.
Yes,
you
exactly.
Could get
That's
much more X-rated than that.
Right, that's one we can repeat.
Look at Do Jin. It's our Korean buddy, the manager at Samford.
There's a walk to Mitchell. Right, you had a long talk with him.
Living the American dream, baby.
He was
Came
very
running
proud.
over to us. Yeah, wanted to introduce himself. Do Jin, the manager, living the American dream in Korea. Loving it.
So that'll take us to Brady Lindsley. Struck out and singled. Scored on the 3-run home run. Boy, and that one gets away from Mulrine, but not far enough. I think Oklahoma's going to be a little careful with Mulrine back there. They know that he's got a cannon for a right arm.
You don't really need to take any unnecessary risk if you're Oklahoma. You have a 3-run lead here in the 5th. Certainly don't want to give Samford any positive energy.
There's the bunt, and it bounces foul. So 1-2 the count.
And as opposed to first and second with nobody out, where you need to bunt that ball down the third side because the third baseman has to be reading it. In this particular case, that third baseman is charging. There's no reason for him to stay at third base. And so you want to actually bunt this one toward the first base side, because the first baseman, Edens, is having to hold the runner on until the pitch is thrown, so he gets a late break on the bunt.
Make that 1-1 the count. As Lindsley will square it up again. This time he gets the bunt down. It's a good one. He's going to have to hurry the toss over there, but Edens does get it to Dixon. 1 out, runner to second base.
And that's a perfect bunt. That's not easy to do for a left-handed hitter. I mean, the pitch dictates whether or not you can even pull it to the right side, but nice job right there by Lindsley to get it down. Move Mitchell over to second base. He has to get that bunt down the first base line. Garris, the third baseman, was right in his face.
So here's Kyle Mendenhall. Some fireworks his last at-bat. The senior second baseman swings and misses. Mendenhall, 3-run shot. Mendenhall with 6 runs batted in this regional. A lot of guys have RBIs for Oklahoma. He scored 23 runs in a game and a half.
What I've seen from Oklahoma, not only yesterday scoring 20 runs, but even in tonight's game, they're getting the leadoff guy on base. 3 times out of 5 innings, they've had the leadoff guy on base with no outs. And again, doing the Little League math, which I did coaching these 12-year-olds, that number, the percentage of that guy scoring with nobody out and getting the leadoff guy on was about 80%. So you can imagine at this level, it's not that high, but it's a high number of those guys that scored. Riley Ware was on base in the third to lead off the inning. He scored. Kyle Mendenhall was on in the second, and he got all the way to third before the door was shut on them. But that's how important it is to get that leadoff guy on with nobody out.
Here's Kyle's dad up in the stands. Last at bat saw his son go yard.
Mulrine just wants to throw. I mean, you're actually surprised when he doesn't just throw it just to throw it. Of course, if you had a cannon like that, I'd be showing it off too.
Jack Rude in relief of Cody Shelton. Jack came in the 4th inning, got the ground out, and a double play to end the inning. So 3-2 now on Mendenhall.
With first base open, Kyle Mendenhall already hurting this team once. You wouldn't imagine that this 3-2 would be a fastball.
Chopper out to short. Fryman's throw is on the money, 2 down.
And Mendenhall was actually thinking the same thing. You don't miss an elevated fastball without thinking that he might drop the slider on you. Kyle Mendenhall just tops that ball up the middle. If you're sitting dead red in that situation, that ball's hammered by Kyle Mendenhall. He just had the doubt that he might throw a slider. Jack Rude was able to get him.
Now it's Thomas Hughes. One and 0 on Hughes. Mitchell over at third base. Hughes, a couple of base hits in that designated hitter role. Laid down a perfect bunt right after the home run by Mendenhall his last time up. Hughes has 9 hits in his last 17 at-bats. That'll get your average up. Now at 361. Hughes making just his 5th start of the season. He's played in 21 ball games. But now 13 out of 36 at the plate. He's one of those Joes that Skip Johnson talks about. He wants to have 9 Joes. Everybody just doing their job. Don't worry about the name on the back of your jersey. Just get it done.
And that's why they don't have them. And they're doing their job, especially the last game and a half.
Boy, hangs in there and fouls that one off.
Right on that slider, fouled it straight back. So it's a constant change in your mind. So if you fouled it straight back, know you're on it. Pitching coach is watching. Now you're looking fastball.
Fouls that one off.
But he was late on the fastball, so you don't want to throw him the slider and speed up his bat because he'll be right on it. So if you're Samford, you want to continue to throw that fastball. The middle in will work. Because Jack Rude can't throw it inside, even the outside corner. But either way, you do not want to speed up his bat by throwing anything off speed.
There's a high chopper. Fryman trying to chase it down. Can't do it. RBI single back up the middle. How about Thomas Hughes? He's feeling pretty good at the plate right now. Fouls off a couple of pitches and delivers the RBI single with 2 outs to make it a 4-0 game.
His third base hit tonight. Thomas Hughes just gets the fastball and just pounds it in the dirt. It ends up going right in the right spot up the middle. Brandon Fryman with a good chance to try to make that play. Couldn't get to it. And that's run number 4 for Oklahoma.
What a great 2-strike approach. He fouled off some really good pitches to stay in that at-bat.
Yeah, Jack Rude left that a little bit over the plate. I mean, I think if he buries that on the inside corner, he can get him. But when you leave that fastball out over the middle, he's got it covered.
Like that fastball out to left on the run. Catch made by Schaefer, but another run across the board. And the Sooners now lead 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
There's Dozen. Knew 3 words when he got here: banana, giraffe, and apple. Knows a lot more. He knows the word Southern Conference Championship also. How about Nathan Wiles for Oklahoma, dominating that cutter low and away. Another cutter on the outside corner. Sinker outside, sinker inside, and just moving that fastball in and out. Coming inside to these Samford hitters who've been subbing on Florida State last night but haven't been able to figure out Nathan Wiles tonight. 4 innings, 2 hits, only 1 walk, and a career-high 7 strikeouts for Nathan Wiles. Oklahoma looking good offensively, defensively, and on the mound.
$11 of 14 first pitch strikes, including 7 straight. And Wiles will face Mulrine, and there's another first pitch strike. Wiles spotted a 4-0 lead here. Mulrine struck out his last time. Looking, lifts that one out to left. Brewster on the run, can't make the catch. Looked like Brewster had a hard time picking that one up off the bat.
A lot of times when that hitter gets jammed or he hits it off the end, all the outfielder can see is a solid contact. And the first move you'll see from Brewster is back, and then he takes kind of a weird route toward it, can't catch up to it. But again, in the outfield, it's tough to see when that ball's a jam shot or off the end where it's not going to have the carry it would otherwise. Ends up being a base hit for Mulrine to start this 5th.
That'll get us to Austin Edens. He's got a weird kind of setup. Watch his left foot. He kind of bails on a little bit, but the guy's just a pure hitter, so you don't see that a lot where he kind of bails to the left with that lead foot.
Yeah, he steps out. Of course, they come middle in. He's going to crush it because he's already opened up. But it's not really where you go with your lead foot. It's where you go with your lead shoulder. If your shoulder pulls early, then you're going to be off at just about every pitch. You become a spin hitter, and you can crush the ball in the middle end, but you're susceptible to everything else. For Austin Edens, even though he's pulling out with his front foot, he keeps his shoulder buried in there and is still able to hit the ball out to right field if he needs to.
Yeah, last night, a few base hits to the right side.
Yeah. So for me, the keys to hitting are a big part of it is keeping your eyes still, pitch recognition, and all that great stuff. But the other thing is keeping that shoulder buried in there. A lot of times we'll pull early, and I mean a split second early, but that's all it takes. And now you're off. All the off speed, and the only thing you can hit is the fastball in. That's what I always love facing left-handed pitchers as a left-handed hitter, because you had to force yourself to keep that right shoulder in. You couldn't look to pull off the lefties because everything was moving away from you. And it made me better against right-handed pitchers because I was more apt to pull that shoulder early against right-handers because I was trying to cheat a little bit, especially in hitters' counts.
Swing and a miss. Eden goes down. 8 strikeouts.
But you're right, he is bailing with that left foot, and sometimes your shoulder will go out with it right there, especially if he's looking for a fastball and gets that slider. But Nathan Wiles has just been ridiculously good.
Yes.
And the thing he's been great at tonight is getting ahead of hitters. I mean, he's throwing first pitch strikes, and that's easier to say than it is to do for these pitchers, because you could say I'll just pump fastballs in there, but he's been accurate with his off speed as well for strike 1. And here we go, another first pitch strike for Nathan Wiles. Skip Johnson will tell you that's the key, getting ahead of hitters.
Oh, 2 on Taylor Garris. Well, it's like Wiles is just one step ahead of his Bulldog batting order.
You know, and the way it works is if you get to the plate and that pitcher throws a first pitch off speed and it's non-competitive, I can eliminate that as a hitter and I'm looking fastball. But if he drops that off speed in for a strike, now you have to respect that. And then he throws that fastball inside on you, and you got to respect that too. And you've got to choose between those two pitches which to hit. You can't cover them both.
Ground ball out to short. Big hop over there for Zaragoza, and they'll get the out. That will get Mulrine down to second base.
Right fielder, number 9.
Ryan Crockett coming to the plate. The right fielder grounded out his first time up. High in the air. That'll stay in the infield. Mendenhall will make the catch, and Samford will leave a runner. Wiles is dealing here in Tallahassee. Some NCAA regional headlines. Cody Clemens going crazy against Texas A&M with a couple of home runs, 4 runs batted in. And how about Duke? They stay alive. They defeat Campbell 16-8. They were down 8-3 going into the 8th inning. They scored 2 in the 8th, 11 in the 9th, and went 16-8. Casey Mize projected #1 pick in the upcoming draft next week, and he cruises along as Auburn beats Army 12-1, and Washington knocks off Coastal Carolina, and the Huskies will advance to the regional final. And of
Casey Mize is impressive.
He's got this, what does he call it, a split change?
He calls it the split change. We call it the Meiseniter.
Yeah.
Meisenator. Either way, that guy has one of the nastiest out pitches in baseball, that split finger. Got the arm action of a 94, 95 mile an hour fastball, and looks like a fastball out of his hands. It just drops completely out of the zone. It's a lot of swing and misses. 14-1 strikeout to walk ratio, which is unheard of. Put that in perspective, in the big leagues, their goal is to get a 3-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Casey Mize, projected first-round pick in this year's June draft from Auburn.
Cade Cavalli will lead things off. Cavalli has walked and grounded out. Oh, 1-2 for Cavalli. Detroit Tigers have that first pick in their back pocket.
And remember, they took Alex Faedo last year. So you put Faedo with Casey Mize, they've got a future on the mound in Detroit.
Swing and a miss. Cavalli going down, first out of the inning.
You're going to be able to take this video from Cavalli this year and in the future play it back, because he's going to be a player right here. Just a non-confident swing on a slider, but he's going to figure it out. And when he does, watch out.
There's Keith Law's mock draft, who has Casey Mize, Joey Bart at Georgia Tech, just a beast this year. Singer, Madrigal out at Oregon State, Jonathan India, who is just, again, continuing to mash baseballs all over the country. Singer on the mound, beat Jacksonville, gave up 2 in 7 innings of work. Good to see him back out. We hadn't seen him pitch a whole lot here in the last 3 weeks. There's a strike to Cade Harris, 0-2. Seven hits for the Sooners, 3 hits for the Bulldogs. Winner of this one on to a regional final game at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. The loser takes on Mississippi State at noon Eastern time tomorrow, as Harris goes down on strikes.
Shortstop, number 4, Zaragoza.
There's a look at our bracket. Florida State Back-to-back losses eliminates them from their own regional. Oklahoma beat Mississippi State 20-10 yesterday, but the Bulldogs stay alive with that 3-run walk-off homer by Elijah McNamee. Hit the scoreboard.
Florida State 1 strike away from winning that game. Changeup over the middle of the plate. Elijah McNamee crushes it in the 9th.
Vanderbilt with a big win. They took down Clemson 4-3. They rallied. I think Vandy was down 3-0 in that game.
A lot of young kids playing at Vanderbilt this year too, getting some good experience. Whether they win the whole thing or not, Vanderbilt's going to be tough for the years to come.
There's a strike to Zaragoza, 2-2. We're paired up with that Clemson regional here from Tallahassee, so it'll be interesting to see the dynamics that are going on. Who will end up hosting a super if Clemson can't? That one is through the left side. 2-2 pitch with 2 outs. Of course, Florida State came in as a number 7 national seed. They go 0-2 this weekend, so they joined the list. The last teams to do it were Florida and Florida State back in 2014. Georgia Tech started the trend in 2003. And of course, the NCAA went to the super regional format back in 1999. One of the great decisions. I really believe it's had a lot to do with the growth of this game. It's become such a popular time of the year. I mean, the super regionals are just fantastic. You get set up for a 3-game series. You get teams that are built for that. So you get them lined up just right. Your Friday night guy against your Friday night guy.
298 eligible Division I baseball programs. At that point, you're down to 16. I mean, you've got some good baseball around the country. And even in these regionals with the top 64, a lot of parity in the country. Mike Martin would always speak to how good baseball has become in college around the country.
That one's a little bit low. It's 2-1 now. Riley Ware. We didn't do a double play his last time up, has singled and scored. That one misses. 3-1 now. Ware in the driver's seat. Ware, the junior at a Sedgwick, Kansas, junior college transfer for the Sooners, hitting in the 3-hole. And he'll look at a strike. It's 3-2.
Now 3-2 with 2 outs. There it goes at first base. He'll take off on the pitch. Any ball in the gap will score him for sure, maybe even a single. Zaragoza can move. Riley Ware with a lot of pop out of the 3-hole. Off to the right side. That's a tough play, and
Samford able to make it. Nice job by Rude to get there. Dixon making a solid throw, and the Sooners will leave a runner. Well, that looked like trouble, but Samford got out of it.
Nice awareness by Jack Rude. Ball's hit to his left side, moving over. That's a tough play for a second baseman to hit the pitcher on the run, but nice job to get the third out for Samford. He's a hitting coach somewhere.
Brandon Fryman coming up for Samford, the sophomore shortstop. Of course, he has got some outstanding baseball bloodlines. His dad, longtime Major League veteran. And look at that. I mean, that is almost identical. Those two shots between father and son. Of course, growing up around the ballpark with the Tigers and the Indians. That's a great shot.
Travis Fryman played against that guy. Great third baseman for Detroit and Cleveland.
And Fryman will lead things off. Trying to lay a bunt down and fouls it off.
Always love the threat of the bunt. It pulls that third baseman in, and even though you don't use it all the time, if that third baseman thinks you can bunt, he'll play up on the grass, and that opens up that hole on the left side for a guy like Brandon Fryman. See, Ware now has to respect that ball at third base. He's right up on the grass.
And Fryman is retired. Riley Ware making a nice throw. First out of the inning. Well, told you that this regional here in Tallahassee is paired up with the Clemson Regional, and Vanderbilt has made it to the regional final. So tomorrow's elimination game will feature Clemson and St. John's, the 1 and 3 seeds out of there. But Vanderbilt with back-to-back wins. And that was a great win tonight against a really, really good Clemson team.
St. John's fourth in Division I with a 2.9 ERA. Vanderbilt's 13th straight NCAA tournament appearance under Tim Corbin. It's the longest active streak in the Southeastern Conference. Vanderbilt can pick it. I mean, one of the best defensive teams in the country, and they run. Steal bases. Austin Martin tied for the SEC lead this year, 21 bags. One of the freshmen in that team. DeMarco, another freshman.
By the way, out in Corvallis, Oregon State just handing it to LSU right now. Boy, Dixon just got plunked on that front leg. I believe it was that front leg.
And we heard that all the way up here. That was not good.
Actually, it may be that back leg, the way he's holding it.
Could have been the knee.
I mean, yeah.
That was something hard that he hit.
Well, let's watch that again and listen. That ball hit his knee.
Yeah, that's right off the inside part of that right kneecap. Oh, you know that hurts. That was never fun. Plate get hit by a pitch, especially on a bone somewhere. I was a left-handed hitter. My right bone, right elbow is exposed, and you get popped on that thing 94.5 miles an hour. You remember it.
Brooks Carlson looks at a strike. Well, they're just kind of off balance in the batter's box today against Nathan Wiles. He's one of those strikeout victims.
It's that cutter at 82 miles an hour. And that unbalance comes from these hitters. You know, I mean, Nathan Wiles has been so accurate with that slider and that cutter and the four-seamer that you really don't know what's coming out of his hand on any given count. The best way to hit is have a good idea of what's coming, especially if you can get a hitter's count. You know fastball's coming, but Nathan Wiles has been able to work ahead of these hitters.
One and two on Carlson. Career high 8 strikeouts tonight. Carlson trying to extend his hit streak. It's at 14 right now. South Carolina leading East Carolina in that Greenville regional. That game of the 7th. Called strike 3.
Watch this location from Nathan Wiles with the fastball, the four-seamer on the outside corner, probably a few inches on the outside corner, but nice pitch either way. Great frame job by Lindsley behind the plate. And Nathan Wiles gets the call for another strikeout tonight. 9 strikeouts, career high.
Casey Dunn has given our home plate umpire Kelly Gonzalez an earful, and he just got a warning.
Well, Casey Dunn, being a former catcher, knows the strike zone. Even from the side. That's a carryover from last night. Even though they won the game, there were a few close calls that went against Casey Dunn's ball club. And it starts to get frustrating after a time.
So Ayrton Schaefer will step in. You can see Casey Dunn still shaking his head. Felt that was a few inches, more than a few inches off the plate. Oh, nice pick by Ware across the diamond, and the inning is over. Boy, Casey Dunn between innings still hot about the strike to Brooks Carlson for the second out of the inning, and already was warned by our home plate umpire Kelly Gonzalez, and he is just stewing over there in the dugout.
And again, that you don't get that hot over one pitch. I mean, it's been seeming like a continual thing for Casey Dunn's ball club. Last night, Wyatt Burns threw a really nice pitch in a key moment against Florida State. Didn't get the call. They, of course, won the game anyway by 1 run. But that's a carryover from last night for Casey Dunn, who's watched this a few times.
Justin Mitchell to lead things off against Jack Rude.
That's where Casey Dunn has the argument. Again, his pitcher pins the same pitch, maybe even a little close to the plate, gets a call to ball or an 0-2 pitch to Justin Mitchell.
Two and two the count to Mitchell. For more coverage of the Division I baseball regionals and interactive brackets, go to NCAA.com.
Well, Jack Rude has really done an outstanding job since coming in this game. One mistake in the third, and that was a 3-run homer by Kyle Mendenhall. Leadoff hitter gets on Justin Mitchell in the 5th, comes around to score, and that's where we're at.
Edens with a nice pick over at first. And that will retire Mitchell for the first out.
Jack Rude has attacked the zone. Nice little slider working tonight. And again, that's Samford's identity is on the mound. They've thrown out some good arms yesterday and today. Cody Shelton, starter, worked out a couple jams.
Brady Lindsley, he'll look at a strike. Lindsley 1 out of 2 with a single, scored a run, average at 268.
Oh, to be a head coach in an NCAA tournament game.
The stress level definitely high. That ball is laced with foul. Oh, 2 on Lindsley. So you see a guy smoke one like that down the line. Foul ball, though. Your thought process is?
Well, as a hitter, again, you're adjusting for every pitch. Every pitch sequence, every pitch count is a different thought process. And when you pound it like that, you can pretty much expect an off-speed pitch right here.
There it is. Lindsley swings and misses. Second out of the inning.
And the better hitters make adjustments like that. If I pound a fastball to the pull side, then I'm not getting that pitch again. It's coming off speed, and you just make that adjustment, and you stay back, and you look up the middle the other way. And if they throw an off speed, let's say they throw a changeup on the outside corner, and I foul it off to the opposite direction, that pitching coach is paying attention to that. I've got a little lazy bet on an off speed pitch you can book, that a fastball's coming middle in next pitch, and as a hitter, you just make that adjustment and look for it.
Out to third. Garris with a nice play and a good clean inning for Jack Rude. We will head to the bottom of the 7th inning in a 4-0. NCAA regional baseball coverage on ESPN is presented by Capital One. This was the scene a few hours ago and sent everybody scurrying. Matter of fact, the teams went back to the hotel. We had a 2.5-hour delay, but we are underway. We move to the bottom of the 7th inning here in Tallahassee. Oklahoma leading Samford 4-0. Dave Neal, Todd Walker, glad you could join us. Fireworks in our first game today. A 3-run walk-off by Elijah McNamee since Mississippi State. For some more baseball tomorrow as Burns smokes this one in left center and nobody will catch it. Bounces off the wall. Harris will get it in and a leadoff double for the Bulldogs. The 4th double of the year for Burns.
Well, yet another first pitch strike from Nathan Wiles, but this one hurts him. Connor Burns with a fastball pounded into left center for a leadoff double for Samford. What's been working for Nathan Wiles so far in this game? Samford starts to get a clue on and starts attacking him a little earlier. That's the 16th first pitch strike to a hitter. Last time he didn't throw a first pitch strike to a Samford hitter was in the 2nd inning, Austin Edens. If you're a pitcher and you want to have success, that's the way to do it. Get 0-1 on the hitters.
Anthony Mulrine will step in. 4th hit of the game for the Bulldogs. That one's out to center. Harris makes the catch, and that will allow Burns to tag up. He'll get to third. Boy, a couple of the balls hit right on the button.
That's the unfair part of this game. You can hit the ball in the screws and you have nothing to show for it. Mulrine pound that ball out to center field. Might actually get an appeal at second base. I think Connor Burns was okay, but it was really close and him leaving it early. Now Samford has their best hitter at the plate, Austin Edens.
Edens 0 for 2 today, ground out and a strikeout. No swing. That is 17 straight first pitch strikes It snapped a streak of 17 straight first pitch strikes, and now it's 2-0.
Well, this is the guy in Samford's lineup that Oklahoma has to be worried about. Austin Edens, like we mentioned, all-time leader in Samford history with home runs, stolen or total bases, RBIs. I mean, he's their dude in a key spot here for Samford.
'88 pitches for Nathan Wiles, and you've got a tough out at the plate. And if you work off the due theory, Austin Edens is certainly due.
Yeah, he hadn't had a hit in 2 at-bats.
Yeah.
It's overdue.
You see the numbers on Edens. All-time leader at Samford with 190 runs batted in. So 2-0 to Austin. Make it 2-1.
Yeah, that lead step is almost exaggerated tonight. I mean, he really stepped in the bucket right there. A lot of times if you're trying a little too hard, that'll happen because you're trying to clear your hips and trying to lift and separate, really crush it to the pull side. He's got great eye, though. Even though he's pulling out a little bit, he really sees those pitches that aren't strikes.
Full 3-2.
Nathan Wiles able to put that ball right on the outside corner, and for Austin Edens, he basically runs out of bat because now his lead shoulder's leaving early too. You're just not able to cover that outside part of the plate. If he makes a mistake over the plate or middle in, Austin Edens will lose it.
Wiles checks off 2 calls and misfires, and runners at first and third.
Third baseman, number 3, Taylor Harris.
Boy, looks like there's a discussion going on over there at first base.
Yeah,
Edens over there running right into Cade Cavalli, and Cavalli had a...
Well, I saw Austin Edens during the course of the bat talking to Nathan Wiles. I don't know what instigated it, but there's a battle going on there for sure. And then with a few non-choice words, he said Nathan Wiles was actually talking to him first, and Edens responding.
Baron Hyman, our first base umpire, had to get in between those 2 big old boys. That's not any fun.
He told Cavalli to be quiet.
Taylor Garris fouls that one off the netting. 0-1.
Big at bat for Taylor Garris. 2 hits last night. Want to be careful on that outside pitch. Nathan Wiles wants to induce a ground ball, get out of this inning on a double play.
That's going to be tough to do. Over 200 at-bats, only 2 double plays has Garris grounded into this year. Pitch count to 94 for Nathan Wiles. 1-2. Garris coming back home to the Sunshine State, the sophomore out of Sarasota, Florida, out of Cardinal Mooney High School. Fouls that back. 91 miles an hour on pitch 96.
Good job by Taylor Garris. Now he's respecting and protecting against that slider that he just swung and missed at. That's why that fastball becomes effective, but quick enough swing to just foul it off.
Swing and a miss. What a strikeout. 2 down in the inning.
I don't think Taylor Garris liked the first called strike. Swung at 2 sliders, and you know, you're frustrated anyway. You're frustrated anyway when you strike out, and a little transfer of blame going on right there.
Ryan Crockett now with 2 outs, runners at first and third. Crockett 0 for 2. High in the air, center field. Plenty of room for Cade Harris. And he'll make the catch, and the Bulldogs will leave 2. Oklahoma fired up. They lead 4-0 after 7. Emotions high here at Dick Howser Stadium.
I think Nathan Wiles is fired up. Gets out of a big inning for Samford. Still up.
Well, this was what happened right at the end of that inning. Eden's talking to Casey Dunn about the discussion that Eden was having at first base and why he was running his mouth. And I think Eden's was saying, well, I wasn't the first one to start John. And so Casey Dunn wants to go out and get an explanation.
Yeah, Casey Dunn's basically just gathering information. Goes out to Kelly Gonzalez, who he's already got a warning from, and there's some emotions running high in the Samford dugout, down by 4. And Casey Dunn has had some issues with the strike zone, and Austin Edens thought he was getting some words from Nathan Wiles on the mound and reacted, and for right now, Samford just trying to calm their emotions.
Well, we move to the top of the 8th inning, and Thomas Hughes will lead things off in a 4-0 ball game. Great opportunity right there for Samford. Couldn't get any runs across. A feisty evening. Been a long day for everybody.
It really has. And amidst all of that, Jack Rude has just come in and just done a fantastic job in replacing Cody Shelton for Samford.
Hughes 3 out of 3 today. As an RBI as well. His average has now ticked up to 378. Off to the right side. Line smoked it right to Edens. 1 down.
Wow, that was a bolt.
Yes, it was.
Off the bat of Thomas Hughes. Austin Edens right on top of it.
Rude, by the way, now 4 1/3, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts, and a walk. He has kept it manageable for his Bulldog teammates. He's thrown 68 pitches. And 48 of those are strikes.
Blake Brewster shows bunt. Garris back on the dirt, has to move in a little bit. I always love left-handed hitters that at least have that in their arsenal. The idea that he might bunt brings that third baseman in. If you can use the other side of the field, there's a lot of hits that way. You see Fryman shaded up the middle. Big hole in the left side of the infield for Blake Brewster. That
I'm not sure what that was.
A little bit of bunt, swing, something. But I think originally he wanted to bunt, and then he pulled back, tried to push it with him to second base. A little awkward swing there. Changed his mind. I think initially he wanted to bunt it to the left side, and then changed his mind, tried to push it to second.
So the 1-1 misses inside, 2-1.
Bunting's not as easy as it looks, and even with a drag bunt, I always tell these kids, I mean, you've got to square around and put it down where you want to put it down. It needs to be perfect or foul if you're trying to drag bunt. A sacrifice bunt's a little different, but make sure you're set up. If you put a good bunt down, you will beat it out. But you got to make sure you put it down first. A lot of times you see these drag bunters try to get out of the box before they even make contact with the baseball, and it never works out well. Not trying to trick anybody. The drag bunt, you want to disguise it a little bit, but in the end, if you put a good bunt down, especially down third base line, if the third baseman's back, you wouldn't do it if he's up, you're going to get a base hit.
There's a walk to Brewster.
First baseman, number 24, Gabe Cavalli.
So Cade Cavalli, the 9-hole hitter. A walk, a ground out, and a strikeout. Big swing and a miss. Longest outing of the year for Jack Rude.
So now when you talk about educated guesses at the place, he swung through that slider, so now he swung so badly, you know you're going to get the slider back again. Sit on it. Sit on that tempo and get after it.
0-2.
You know, that's how you build an at-bat. I was never afraid to swing through a slider first pitch. If I missed it by a big number or a big amount, then that pitcher thinks that I can't hit it. He's going to throw it again. And you sit and wait on it the second time around and you hammer it. And that's how you build these at-bats. If he misses badly with a slider and it's ball one, then there's a chance you're going to get the fastball. And you go after it there too. But there's a process in what pitch is coming based on what that pitcher has. And as a hitter, you just adjust to it each and every pitch.
Cavalli now at 204 on the year. And he strikes out back-to-back times at the plate, out number 2. Four strikeouts for Jack Rude. So Cade Harris, top of the lineup. Cade has also struck out. He's looking for his first hit, 0 for 4 tonight.
That was the one pitch that would mess me up more than anything. When you throw first pitch fastball in the inside corner as a hitter, now you feel like you got to speed your barrel up to get to it, and it makes you susceptible to all the off speed and even the fastball away because you're going to pull that lead shoulder out early. Anytime that pitcher proved to me he could throw it for a strike on the inside corner early in the count, I was messed up.
Runner goes. That's a strike, but a stolen base for Brewster. Mulrine couldn't tell if he actually came up and bumped into Cade Harris. No.
Well, the bat got in the way, but the body did not, and that's why you see Kelly Gonzalez not giving interference right there. Certainly, Cade Harris didn't do that on purpose. He just drops the barrel of the bat in the zone and keeps Mulrine from being able to throw. And you know Mulrine wants to throw.
But 2 strikes on Cade Harris. Front of that one and hammered it. Good night to be down the bleachers and right for a souvenir. Unless you can't find the ball, then we've got issues. Now here come the other Sharks looking for it.
You don't find it right away, you're not going to get it.
Swing and a miss. Ball down in the dirt. Throw down to first, and the inning is over. And Jack Rude doing his part for the Bulldogs. Another strikeout. His 5th out of the bullpen. Top of the lineup. Fryman, Dixon, and Carlson. And yes, they found the baseball. The NCAA Baseball Regionals on ESPN presented by Capital One. We'll move to the bottom of the 8th inning in a 4-0 ball game. 8 hits for the Sooners, 4 for Samford. They have had a tough time working against the big right-hander. Nathan Wiles, who has a career high, 8 strikeouts tonight. Excuse me, 10 strikeouts. Getting so many, I'm losing count. Two walks, 10 strikeouts, and 7 innings of work.
That's a rare ball one from Nathan Wiles. He has thrown strike one to just about every Samford batter tonight.
High in the air to left. Brewster comes in and he will make the catch. And Fryman is retired, and Dad Travis, 13 years in the big leagues, watching on.
Well, these kids have such an advantage. A guy like Brandon Fryman that gets to grow up in a baseball family. Travis Fryman has taught him so much about the game. Oklahoma has a guy, Thomas Hughes, same thing.
That'll bounce off the glove of Wiles, and that'll be a base hit for Dixon. You know, we're talking about Fryman. Talk about a guy who's obviously been a big leaguer, but Gold Glove winner, Silver Slugger Award, 5-time All-Star.
Yeah, he can play.
I think it's a pretty good skill set. Just saying.
Just saying. Played in the old Detroit Tiger Stadium. That's how I remember those Tiger teams. Cecil Fielder, Tony Clark.
101 pitches for Nathan Wiles. See what Skip Johnson wants to do here. His season high is 109 pitches. He's gone over 100 3 times. 7 1/3 tonight. His long outing of the year is 7 2/3. There's the Sooners bullpen. Doesn't look like any of those numbers have been called just yet. Brooks Carlson, the freshman 3-hole hitter, will step in. There's a chopper to third. They're going to go to second with it. They get the out there, the only one they're able to get, but 2 outs in the inning. Well, that was a nice little play by Ware.
He's played an outstanding third base yesterday and today in this regional. And up 4-0. You got to make really sure you can get that lead runner. The easier plays at first base and on the run makes an accurate throw to second base. Like you said, that's not an easy play, and typically you'll see a third baseman just get the out again with the 4-run lead at first base, but nice job.
Good. Carlson 0 for 4 tonight. As he doesn't get credit after that fielder's choice. His 14-game hit streak in jeopardy. He's reached base 16 straight, though. Swing and a miss to Schaefer. The 1-1 off the plate, 2-1. Schaefer has struck out, singled, and grounded out. 5 home runs on the year. Boy, Oregon State is just hammering LSU. It's now 10-1 in the 5th inning out in the Corvallis Regional.
Wonderful.
Well, I bring that up. I could give you that news.
Glad you pointed that out.
Former Tiger next to me. Boy, Wiles having a chat with Andre Lanoux out at second base. Wonder what that's about as he takes a moment to gather himself. 2-2 the count. Ground ball out to short. Sharply hit. They'll go to second and get the out. And the Sooners get out of the inning, and Samford will leave another runner. We have played 8. It's a 4-0 Boomer Sooner lead. Turned out to be a beautiful night here in northern Florida, Tallahassee, as Oklahoma leads Samford 4-0 as we move to the top of the 9th inning. Winner this one gets to play tomorrow afternoon, 5 o'clock Eastern time. Loser has to head right back to the ballpark for a noon start to take on Mississippi State. Oklahoma got a 3-run homer off the bat of Kyle Mendenhall back in the 3rd inning. They picked up another run in the 6th inning. Excuse me, the 5th inning. 8 hits for the Sooners, 5 hits for Samford, but nothing on the big board.
Well, Brandon Zaragoza can really pick it at shortstop. 283 on the year, only 8 extra base hits, all doubles.
Boys are playing late into the night, 12:22 on the East Coast. This game was supposed to start at 5. But here we are.
When's the last time you saw 12:22 at night, other than you going out last Friday night?
Right, yesterday. Yeah.
To the clubs.
Back in my stomping grounds.
Yeah. Got the glow sticks going.
It was crazy.
Dance moves.
The glitter.
Playing the Tootsie Roll earlier. I saw you dancing.
Fly ball off the bat of Zaragoza, caught by Connor Burns. Boy, starting 2-0 gives you an 81% chance of winning the regional. That's all you need to know.
But I tell you what, for Oklahoma, if Nathan Wiles is able to go already, he saved that bullpen for Oklahoma. They're in great shape if they win this game. They've got a lot of pitching left.
Lined and caught by Fryman. A diving catch at short, out number 2.
The same goes for Samford. Jack Root has really done well since coming in this game, but hasn't missed any bats here in the ninth. Brandon Zaragoza hits one deep to center field, and Riley Ware rips one to short. Nothing to show for it for Oklahoma with 2 outs.
Justin Mitchell will step in now. First pitch fouled back. 0-1 on Mitchell. You know, you can't say enough about the job that Root has done, but in the bigger picture, he saved a Samford bullpen that, unless they have a big ninth, will need to find some arms. Is if they want to win this regional, they're going to have to win 3 games now.
And only threw 3 guys last night. Strickland, Rich, and Burns threw for Samford last night. So they're in good shape too. I mean, the winner of this game clearly is in better shape. They haven't lost yet, but both these clubs have really saved a lot of pitching. Mississippi State, on the other hand, has been through a lot.
Out to right, Crockett will make the catch, and that'll do it for the Sooners. Oklahoma needs 3 outs. They'll keep moving on here. Well, the Samford Bulldogs need a really big inning if they want to stay undefeated here in the Tallahassee Regional. They're down 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. And coming up for the home team in this particular game, Connor Burns, Anthony Mulrine, and Austin Edens. Nathan Weil working into the 9th inning. 8 innings pitched, 10 Ks, career high, 5 hits, couple of walks. He has just been fantastic tonight. I mean, not a big strikeout guy with 59 Ks and 77 innings coming in, but 10 of them tonight. 10. His previous high was 7. So here we go with Burns. He looks at a changeup in there for a strike.
That's been the key. Changeup, sliders, fastballs, all strike one on the first pitch for most of the night for Nathan Wiles.
Little one hopper out to Mendenhall. 1 down. So Anthony Mulrine heading to the plate. Mulrine with a base hit. He's 1 for 3. The Bulldog backstop has 8 home runs and 37 runs batted in. He looks at strike 1. For more coverage of the Division I baseball regionals and interactive brackets, be sure to go to NCAA.com. Lined out to left. Brewster makes a diving catch. What a grab by Brewster.
Look at Blake Brewster in left field. This ball's hit on a line, and I think he lost a little bit of lights at first, then makes a dive toward the baseball and makes the play. A lot of times that ball get caught up in the lights and you lose it for a second. Blake Brewster makes the play for the second out. And remember last time Austin Edens and this pitcher Nathan Wiles had words.
Out to center field, little blooper, and that one will drop in front of Cade Harris. Boy, they are playing so deep in the outfield. If you don't get a great break on this, they've got a couple of these drop in front of them.
Yeah, Harris is deep to begin with. Took him a second to read the ball, and by then the ball was already dropping in the outfield. But Cade Harris really plays deep in center field.
So Edens with the base hit. His first will take us to Taylor Garris.
They're going to push Cade Cavalli off the bag. They're not holding Edens at first base with a 4-run lead. And at that point, Cade Cavalli just signals to the pitcher, Nathan Wiles, that he won't be covering. That way he doesn't try to spin and pick.
Oklahoma trying to go 2-0 for the third time since 1999 in a regional. There's a strike, 0-2. They did it in 2010, where they advanced to Omaha eventually. They did it in 2013, trying to do it right here in Tallahassee. Garris will see another pitch. What a job by Wiles today. Wiles trying to push it to 7-3 on the season. How about 77 strikes? Pitch 117 coming. Maybe just trying to get to a clean 120.
A lot of pitches for Nathan Wiles. Remember, he warmed up to begin this game, threw some pen before he came in the game. He's up over 200 throws tonight.
Drew Parrish of Florida State was up over 130 today. And of course, his last one is one that fans at Mississippi State or Florida State won't forget for a long, long time. That one is lifted out to right, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. That'll get him at first and third.
I was a little surprised Austin Edens just didn't take second base. Cavalli's not holding him on. He was behind him a little bit, and certainly Oklahoma could put some kind of pickoff move on. You see Austin Edens at first base just not running, and therefore has to stop at third base. 2 outs here in the ninth.
Boy, Wiles wanted to close this one out, as you would expect. But he'll go 8 2/3. Sooners trying to get one more out. So we will get the change on the mound as Austin Hansen coming in. Boy, Wiles frustrated, but boy, what a night. Career high 10 strikeouts. A beautiful pitching job by the big right-hander.
Well, the main thing he did is got ahead of every hitter. I mean, he was in command of 3 different pitches, and Samford really just couldn't figure him out so far.
Here's the junior right-hander, Austin Hansen. Out of Lenexa, Kansas. His job, get 1 out. 8 saves on the year. 51 strikeouts to 15 walks. A nice 2.3 ERA. He is leading the team in saves, one better than Connor Berry. And he'll be trying to close this one out for his buddy Nathan Wiles.
Really part of a talented bullpen for Oklahoma. Austin Hansen, Braden Fink. Still have Connor Berry down there in the bullpen. As you mentioned, Austin Hansen with 8 saves. Connor Berry with 7. Kind of a little bit of a closer by committee for Oklahoma. certainly have some talent down there. Dylan Grove, Levi Prater, they've got a ton of arms still left. They're in good shape in this regional.
Boy, that one gets by, and Edens will stay at third base. First pitch sails to the backstop.
I think we always used to tell our young guys to be ready for that pass ball. Austin Edens at third base. A shot, ball goes behind him, but you do have to be careful. Your run really doesn't mean anything. You've got to make absolutely sure you can go into home walking. And Austin Edens at that point wasn't really sure, made the right decision and just stayed at third base.
Ryan Crockett trying to chase that high fastball, 94 miles an hour. Another one pumped in there at 94. More back-to-back elevated fastballs.
Yeah, and that fastball, when it's up in your closer to your eyes, looks so good, but so hard to catch up to, especially when you've got a little angle on your bat swing. The higher the pitch, the more level your swing has to be to make contact. That elevated fastball is so effective because it looks too good, but at 94, it's just almost impossible to catch up.
There it is again, another high fastball, that one at 95. Oklahoma with the shutout. It is their 7th shutout this year, tied for 7th in Division I. And Oklahoma goes to 2-0 here in this regional. The 3rd time since '99 they've been 2-0 in a regional, and they have advanced the prior 2 times to the Super Regionals, making it to Omaha back in 2010. Here's what our bracket looks like. Oklahoma to the regional final. Mississippi State and Samford coming your way at noon tomorrow in an elimination game. The final score, 4-0. For Todd Walker, the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Neal. So long, everybody.